Okay, starting over. I pulled 2 cards, and was reading about the changing woman, but it was very long and drawn out. So now that I read it, it's about honoring your cycles, menstrual cycles, and just cycles in life in general if you don't have a menstrual. And then we also got Sedna, which her little backstory, at least the one I read, she wanted to leave her village so bad, but didn't want to marry anyone in the village because she felt she was more unique than everyone. And this stranger comes from out of town and entices her and says, I'm, a great hunter and fisher and yada, yada, yada. And really was a bird disguised as a human being, and took her to his nest and then flew off to go hunt. And she wept and cried, and her father heard her. And he came to, get her. And they had a tussle. The bird created a huge storm with its wings. And the dad kind of went senile and was like, I don't want to die. He's like, here, just take her. And he threw her overboard. And every time she tried to climb into the boat, he would chop more of her hands and start with her fingers, then her hands, and then up to her wrist. And every time she bled, sea creatures came. So she is the mother of the ocean and all sea creatures. And the sea creatures avenged her when, well, she didn't die. She sank and then reborn into the mother of the sea. And the orcas killed her father. The walruses, I believe, killed the birds. I could be butchering the order of the animals doing what. But it says victim on the card, which she took back her power and is no longer the victim. She was a victim to trusting, I feel, trusting profane masculine versus divine masculine, the father putting his needs above her and her well-being, and of course that shitty ass bird lying about it. And it's like, oh my god, sometimes these stories I just laugh because it's like, who the hell would not see a bird like disguised? I just laugh about it. But anyway, yeah, so it has victim on here, but she found her power while sinking in that water and bleeding out, and knew, funny, bleeding in cycles, interesting. She knew what she had to do in her power. And a lot of shaman up in the Inuit, I believe, villages, for the longest time they would go down and brush the hair of Sedna to appease her, because they honored her before hunting and fishing, so they would have a good catch. So anyway, I could have butchered that story, I probably did, but look up Sedna. She has a very beautiful, gut-wrenching story, but she is not a victim, and none of us are. We have power to change our life with any circumstance. So with that being said, let's see. We have the Eight of Swords, just what I was saying. We can change our mindset. We have that power. We don't need anyone to save us. We have the Prince of Wands, or that's the Knight of Wands. And then we have, I believe, movement is the Chariot. And then we have High Priestess with Saraswati. If it will focus, I'm putting it at the wrong end. Okay. So we have the Eight of Swords, the Prince, or the Knight of Wands, which is fiery movement, forward movement, one of the quicker moving knights. Also immature. But then having the Chariot here with movement, lots of movement, and then wisdom. It's feeling a bit like stumbling through a lesson and maybe not having your seafaring legs under you currently. Like you are getting through the lesson, but it might be a little bit more immature than you would like it to be. Maybe being a little bit childish about it. A little bit of whining, like we're all guilty of. But having, I believe that is movement. Let me triple check myself, because I don't want to be telling y'all it's the Chariot when it's not. It is the Chariot. Yes. Timing, transition, and change. And then we have the High Priestess, which is 2 at the end, which it almost looks like it's this looks like a pattern. Not a pattern, but a flow. You were trapped in your own mental thoughts. You got the power as the Knight of Wands, and then that forward movement as the Chariot to continue trusting in yourself and trusting in your intuition, and then of course intuition at the very end. So let's do a clarity card and see, or clarity cards and see what we have going on here. All right, so we have the King of Swords. Funny on the 8 of Swords, knowing your thoughts. Then we have the 6 of Swords. Oh, it's like I said, the movement with the Knight. 6 of Swords is moving away something. So you could be moving away from a old pattern or an immature thinking. Then the 10 of Cups on Chariot. And then 7 of Cups on intuition, or not intuition, High Priestess. That's very cool because 10 of Cups is like you're the happiest ending to whatever situation you may have. And the 7 of Cups, everyone says it's like confusion and stuff. It could be choices in confusion, but it's on High Priestess. You know what to pick. And I also like looking at it as you have all the options. They are all yours. All things good are yours. And so being the High Priestess, you are going to pick, not will be able to. You are going to pick what is truly yours and what is meant for you. All right. So to sum it up, growing up, you've flowed through this immature state and boom, forward motion into happiness, trusting yourself, intuition, downloads, healing the connection between heart and sacral chakra, where you do trust yourself, listen to yourself. And then with the King of Swords, it's solidified. You know what you want. You know negative thoughts when they come in, self-doubt, all that stuff, imposter syndrome. 6 of Swords, moving away from the immature way of reacting to something. And then, of course, movement to the 10 of Cups. You are headed towards the happy ending that you are looking for, whatever cycle, since we have cycles here. You're ending a cycle of lack mentality, immature thoughts, immature reactions, holding yourself worthy of what you deserve. Okay, time to go out and have fun. Grapes, that's sitting on the King of Swords and the 8 of Swords. We have career with the Knight of Wands and the 6 of Swords. So you could have left something that was no longer serving you career-wise, or you are going to, or you're headed to a good career. We have bagged something important, such as a new job or a raise. And there's the Chariot and 10 of Cups. So this could be about work, leaving something that no longer serves you, leaving a toxic work environment, leaving a dead-end job that's not fulfilling you, and really pursuing what makes you happy. And then we have Staff, which you'll be taking care of in difficult times, on intuition, or sorry, I keep calling it intuition. High Priestess and the 7 of Cups. Neat. I like that. So you're not a victim in whatever this situation is. Flow through the cycles, trust the cycles, look forward to the change, because every shedding and renewing is better and better. Have fun with it. Don't stay in your head too much about overthinking. If this is towards whatever you want to do as a career or money, keep going forward. Have a level head about it. Trust your intuition. And yeah, it'll be a good ending. Anyway, short and sweet. Hope it helps.